This is Satire Prepper. Doing a little bit different video today, a little bit more serious. Not going after anybody or attacking them over their wonderful new products they're releasing or the fear porn they're selling to their viewers or the individuals. There won't be really much going on in the actual video, so I mean, if you just want to lock the screen and not watch it, I understand. I actually had more questions than anything. First question I really have is, as preppers, we're supposed to be preparing for, volcanic eruptions, natural disasters, World War III, economic collapse, aliens, zombies, whatever have you, whatever you're prepping for. But I've never seen anyone discuss financial decisions or literacy. So with that being said, none of this is financial advice. I'm not licensed. If you want to find out more, you need to talk to a professional, get in contact with them. What's the best way to handle your finances? That, and there's people on YouTube like Dave Ramsey, Graham Stephan, Meet Kevin. I'm gonna butcher this guy's name. Jick? I can't think of his first name. He does magic. He's been with Graham Stephan a few times on some videos. He does magic, like I said, and it's pretty interesting. But they have some really good resources. But how come we never talk as preppers preparing to, financially retire, if it's feasible in your case, or how do you get to that point? Like that, I feel like that's something we as preppers should strive for, where you want to be independent, being able to produce your own food, your own ammo, your own medical surplus supplies, stuff along those lines. But no one ever talks about that, or making wise financial decisions, investing into actual S&P 500 stocks. I'm not stock literate. I'm actually pretty illiterate when it comes to that stuff. I'm still learning. For crypto, I mean, NFTs are pretty big with this millennial generation, the generation after that, Gen Z. I don't really know much about that, but everyone wants to sell on like silver, gold, trading for ammo or food or having skills. So I really don't understand that as a community, why we don't strive to make all of us better to get to that point, or strive to get to that point, or financially make better decisions instead of buying 45 ARs or 30,000 rounds of ammo that probably is not properly stored half the time with most individuals. Medical supplies that go out of date, or you never get the skills to actually do that. Learn how to suture or put an IV bag in, or fluids, or properly placing a tourniquet. Most people watch it on YouTube, and it might be where it ends for a lot of them. We don't strive for skills outside of just prepping, like starting fires or canning. What about skills that might help you pursue higher promotions or employment in the company you work at, or other companies, for higher pay raises, where you can actually start, I don't want to say wasting, but spending more money into prepping gear that might not have been obtainable at that point. Like skills, schooling, even some of that stuff can go into play with prepping, like logistics. That's a huge thing for armies and stuff. You would think if you enjoyed that, you'd go into logistics. Engineering, as much as we give crap to engineers because they can't make roads right, those individuals might be able to design something. Then you look at machinists. You're going to need someone that's able to produce those parts, or laborers that help make whatever the engineer designed, and tell the engineer that they're dumber than a box of rocks, because that's not how the real world works. It's stuff along those lines that we as preppers never really discuss, and I just don't seem to understand why we want to pursue all routes of being better as individuals and preparing. I believe the median household income for Americans, so if you're not from America, did not do the proper research for other countries, so sorry about that. I think it's like $62,000 that's for the wife or boyfriend or whatever your relationship status is and with whom. I mean, why? You see that number, then you look at inflation, the cost of living. How many of those people are maybe pulling from their health savings account and they're having to pay interest on that, or pulling retirement accounts early, and now you're paying even more interest on that. Now you're ripping away from your future self, because what if doomsday doesn't come for another 25 years? And then you're at the ripe old age to retire, but you've just blown through your entire retirement prepping for the past 25 years of that time. Now you got to keep working. Now that could be a good thing. At least your health might not go down as fast because you're still moving and not being lazy. I just don't understand all that stuff. I mean, why we're not financially literate as a community to explain the do's and don'ts, and not to waste your money on frivolous things like people want to go buy shelf stable food. You can do a rotating pantry for the first few years of your prepping career with peanut butter, jelly, canned foods, Chef Boyardee, canned soup, stuff along those lines, and then save money to put towards prepping, or sit down financially and say, okay, how can I break up this 2-week paycheck where I can spend, say, $100 to put into, say, if you wanted to stack silver, you could stack silver, or you could buy the knife you've been looking at, or, maybe not buy a Daniel Defense AR. Maybe you look at a High Point carbine like that's in the video right now. There's nothing wrong with it. I actually enjoy shooting now. I've never had an issue with High Point. I'll probably get a lot of crap for that, but they're a lot more reliable than some of the other pistols I've had from name brands. I mean, for a High Point, it's a decent truck gun. It's a decent starting gun in the sense of you're not blowing a crap load of money to try to figure out what size caliber you actually want to end up with. Granted, I know those prices have gone up since I've owned one or bought one when it comes to the C9 or the pistol variants they have. I mean, there's other ARs out there. You could go with a Delton, I believe, or an Anderson Manufacturing, or stuff along those lines. Those ARs where they're more entry level and maybe not have so much money tied up into just one particular asset that might go down in value, or something might break on it. Now you're SOL. There's just stuff along those lines where you don't talk about skills for financial achievements or promotions in the workplace. Don't talk about retirement. I mean, that's money that you could use later on when something does happen. You pay off you can pay off your house, or if you're renting, you could have so many months set off to the side to pay for it if it's a locked in number. I mean, that stuff's important, because say stuff does happen and it's not an initial all at once collapse. It's a few months before we get to that point. Now you're getting kicked out. You're trying to have to sell all the gear you've bought recently. I mean, what is that gear going to do you now if you have to sell it to feed yourself or your wife or your husband or whoever have you, when you could have been okay if you just put some extra money off to the side instead of blowing it all on useless crap. That's just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. This is Satire Prepper. Have fun out there, kids.